Hi, welcome back. Last time, we spawned in, did some designing, messed around with some shells, did some combat trials, built some trucks, declared war on some gypsies, had our first battles, and then beat them up pretty good. This time, well, I don't know yet. And then his feminine lips will brush my... hi. I was just checking our news data, where with our victory over the Dustwinds, we have a lot more resources to play with. However, that also means that our neighbors are now starting to become threatening. And from our extensive battle reports, it is clear that our current vehicles simply aren't enough. Yeah, see? But anyway, it is true, our current lineup was meant to be cheap and good enough, but that's not going to cut it anymore. We lack in armor, mobility, and firepower, which was compensated for with low cost. Now, however, the threshold of good enough has been raised. We can turn to our newly found territory for some inspiration, namely the Duster. Cheap, mobile, but fragile. Not very good. So I made my own, and improved on it a lot. It's encased in metal armor, armed to the teeth with missiles, and still relatively cheap. However, all of that made it a bit slow. To compensate for it, we gave our pilots either a lifetime subscription to our native methanol drinks, or a lobotomy. I'm not sure anymore. All that matters is that they seem to launch their missiles and then get the hell out of sight well enough for it to not be an issue. This checks off our need for firepower and mobility. Now to fulfill our armor and additional support firepower needs, I will once again turn to the T280, remove its turret, and fill it full with gun and steel. Now for armor, it would be intuitive to have a thick steel plate at the front. However, that's not how FTB works. For you see, or cheese armor, both meanings apply. If a kinetic round hits a highly angled piece of metal, it loses a shit ton of energy. So if you could go through 2 pieces of heavy armor at 90 degrees, now you can only go through 1.5 or something. Though this type of armor is weak to a certain type of ammo. For the firepower, you can substitute gunpowder for rail charge, which means you get 65% more shell per shell. All you need is just some batteries and that's it. Now off to make it. We have successfully turned cannon fodder into long-range cannon fodder. It houses a 400mm main gun, capable of firing long squash or odd AP rounds, a commander's vision turret with a support gun, and a backup camera on the bottom. Its armor profile makes it durable enough for our purposes. With that, we should be... Uh-oh. Looks like we are just in time. And lucky our prediction was right. One of our neighbors are up to no good. The only 2 good choices are either a war with medieval engineers or the cake cultists. But the right choice came to me in a dream, so the white flares it was. I quickly relocated my force up for upgrades and started a new manufacture line for high quality aircraft. And brought them out to capture undefended lands while I could.
Rescued at last.
But you know, I had to get involved myself. Just like Napoleon once said, if you want your ass to be clean, wipe it yourself, or something like that. Yeah, nothing beats manual labor. Wait, who did this? And after that pit stop, it was off to the deep end. Little did I know what I was in for. Holy shit, what even is that? Well, it certainly is a big flying thing. Luckily, it didn't close the distance fast enough, so we could deal with it easily enough. Hopefully that's the only one. Oh, you wish, buddy. like our preparations were more than enough. If we continue at this rate, these cultists will be off the map in record time. That one was a bit close, but we dealt with it. This next target was a bit slow, and that got me a bit worried, but we'll see. Oh. Oh, good thing we didn't have a lande though. They decided to go on a flank, so I just went and flanked them back. It was almost time to contest our first resource zone, and to prepare for it, I switched the SPG's ammo tech to the slow destructive shells. The weather was bad, but it didn't matter. The forces were ready. Just one problem though.
Crack, 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 crack.
Hold on. What? Oh shit. Right. But now it was off to battle. Direct hit. Don't mind that. This resource zone was officially ours, but it doesn't look like they liked that very much. And this thing looked quite deadly as well. Good thing it's focused on the wrong thing. Air superiority is simply unbeatable. And there is the main base. The end is not so far away. We're getting closer to the second resource zone. After we take that, it is go time for the main base. But this battle is gonna be a bit trickier. It's on a hill. Though, after they lost their high ground, it was go time for the cast. With our last obstacle out of the way, it was time for our main event. I gathered all forces, and it was go time. Turns out their main defense is a church on tracks. But surely it won't be a problem for the SPGs. Looks like we had a deserter. Well, he had it coming. While the battle was brewing, I had something in my mind. We had some intel about a person of interest being held captive here. So I decided to take the matter in my own hands and go find them myself. place of interest. We'll have to find a way in, and I might just have to prove for a job. In there, I found none other than the CEO of Lockheed Martin. What he was doing here, I don't know. All I know is that I airlifted him out of there. But by that time, the battle was already over, and we had captured this odd monument. I had left some forces behind to clean up, the rest went back home. And good thing I did, since now these mechanized dwarves decided they didn't like us, and so we went from one front straight to the other. And seems like they were preparing for this for a long time. Though it isn't like we aren't prepared either. Our SPGs were lower in battery, but our supply truck was too far away, so we just had to deal with it. Our current battles were going well, and we managed to get some supply. This Longhorn was rapidly approaching, so the crew decided to flee to the side, but unfortunately they panicked. And another victim to the Longhorn. We'll need to find a counter to it. Some reinforcements to deal with the Longhorn are on its way. Now it was time to deal with the Longhorn once and for all. How? By converging 5 fighter bombers onto it. After that slaughter, it was time to take our first Onyx research zone. And now, after dealing with this counterattack, it's onward to the main base. But it seems like they really want to keep us away from it. Which is unfortunate for them, since we have air superiority. And now it was time to take over their capital. After this, the Onyx Watch will cease to exist. Their main defense was dealt with. Now it was just the structures left. And that's done. We won. Man, finally I can relax. Surely nothing is going to interrupt.